Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. It's match preview. Manchester United versus FC Copenhagen, Champions League. The 3 points are absolutely vital in this, just to have a chance to get through the group. I mean, it's been tough our first 2 games, but what's your overall thoughts going into this game?
My overall thoughts is as simple as what Erik ten Hag said today. We have to win.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a cracking game. The atmosphere will be great. Obviously, the passing of Bobby Charlton, that'll add to the emotional atmosphere. But we've got to win, and I can't wait. And to be honest with you, that mentality in itself, having to win, will create its own problems. But you know, I can't wait.
But there's no excuses here. I know there's things going off the pitch, like you say, with Sir Bobby Charlton, with that devastating news, and he expecting an electric and emotional charged night inside Old Trafford. But the players have got to rise here. We need the 3 points. It's vital.
Yeah,
and there's no excuses. We should be beating Copenhagen here at Old Trafford.
I think tactically, there will be excuses if we get beat, because what it is, what do we do if we score? Do we sit back? I fear if we sit back if we score a goal, it'll be our downfall. We have to go for the juggler. No two ways about it. If United just get on the front foot, get the goal, go for the next goal, they have to go for the juggler. Because if they sit back, like I say, it'll be the downfall. I think it'll be an exciting night, a great night of football. I can just see United going at them and at them and at them. That's the way I've seen it before. 1 or 2 games where, hey, everything's on the line here, and there's no
Sometimes
stopping.
with Man United, when the backs are up against the wall, they just pull out a result that you don't expect them to get. But like I will go back to, you know, this is FC Copenhagen. Yeah, they've had like some moments in games that they've played in the Champions League group, but we should be beating it, Copenhagen here comfortably at home. I know we've got our injury issues. You know, it looks like Reguilon, he's going to be coming back in, give us a little bit more balance in that defence on the left-hand side. You know, let me know out there what you think. But does Harry Maguire start with Rafael Varane, or is it Lindelof with Varane, or Johnny Evans? So for me, there's a little bit of a decision to be made there at centre-back.
Listen, there's lots of decisions to be made, but I tell you what, you cannot expect to go out on the pitch and beat any team in Europe now. We're not in the best frame to play football. The team is disjointed. You've got all the chaos on and off the pitch, the injuries, you name it, the ownership, the lot. Listen, no team in Europe can expect to go out there and blitz someone and play them off the park. It doesn't happen anymore. Teams, managers, there's lots of good teams and managers out there. They come away, they psych it up, and then they just play you. And I think Copenhagen here, they'll come, they'll play, they'll keep hold of the ball, they'll play our midfield and play it through. They know our weaknesses. Lots of teams know our weaknesses. We are not in a good place to step out on that field and be confident of beating anybody, and certainly not an experienced side like Copenhagen. They've been in Europe, they know the routine, they know what to do, and I've seen them play. I've seen them play against Galatasaray, and I thought they were unlucky. They had a man sent off 10 minutes from the end, and that was their sort of downfall. They were 2-0 up. They were a good footballing side.
Yeah, you've got Casemiro, he's going to be suspended for this one, but you've still got your players in there like your Marcus Rashford, your Bruno Fernandes. I expect Varane to start tonight. You know, players like that should be standing up and taking the game by the scruff of the neck and, you know, creating things, you know, and giving that experience to the rest of the team as well. Yeah,
well, we keep saying this every game, to be honest with you. It's like you could just put this on repeat.
Yeah.
He's got experience. He's got World Cup football behind him, Champions League winners. This, you've got it all. But when it steps out on the pitch, this club is not in a good place. You cannot rely on players' experience, what they've done in the past.
Yeah, of course.
You can't rely on anything of this squad at the moment. It is totally disjointed.
Why is that,
in many ways? Why?
Because we've got injuries. You know, most of them to the back 4. You know, you're seeing against Sheffield United and Brentford, the 4 that started wasn't our first choice players. But you've still got surely enough quality in that team in the midfield area up top, you know, to be scoring more goals than we are doing, controlling games more importantly, because for me, we're not controlling large parts of the game. So it's up to the manager, surely, the coaching staff to work around that.
Listen, the coaching staff have a plan. The manager has a plan, obviously. This is how we're going to play, and the players just aren't doing it. And I can't put my finger on one thing. I think lots of people out there could mention this, they could mention that, and there's lots of things building up. And I just put it down to, where is this club going? I don't think anybody knows where this club is going. I think the players can't see where the next 3 years are, the next 2 years are. I think that has an effect on what goes on in the training ground, everything with the manager. I think there's a big psychological effect going on. Yes, people can front it up and go, yeah, I'm up for this game. I'm ready for it. The manager can do exactly the same. But when it comes to it, there are many, many background problems going on with players' attitude, with the club, everything. Some players' attitudes stinks, and they stink. But at the end of the day, you've got people there looking at going on that pitch and thinking to themselves, I can't rely on him. And to be honest with you, the manager can't rely on him. Some of these players, they're there and they've been accused of trying to throw this manager under the bus, and it is there in the squad. And going forward, there will be change, and the quicker it comes, the better. But for now, do not expect to go on a football pitch, any Manchester United team at the moment, and expect to beat anybody.
Yeah, with you saying that, going on the pitch, not expecting to beat anybody, it's still like we've got this hangover from the Carabao Cup final from last year, because I still can't remember a game where we've controlled a large part of that game for, let's say, 70, 80 minutes, and you've walked away from the ground and gone, wow, what a performance today. I know we had late drama against Brentford here at Old Trafford, and that was a great day, just in how the 2 goals were scored late on. It was fantastic. But, a game where you thought, look, I've seen a style of play there. They look comfortable, United, through large parts. I've just still not seen that. And I've seen him, tweak people in midfield, like with McTominay, after scoring that brace against Brentford. I'm still not sure Erik ten Hag knows his best 11.
Look,
I'm still not sure.
Look, you talk about since the Carabao Cup, we've mentioned it before and that, and you want these games, great games and all that. We're not going to get them. We have the players just aren't good enough. All of them. Yes, you've got some really good players out there, but we've got some players who are lacking. Some of them are lacking confidence. Some are actually lacking quality. We haven't got the squad to compete in the Champions League, to go for it. We haven't got the squad to compete in the Premier League. We haven't got it. It's there. You can see the quality isn't there, but you can also see that there's not, in certain players, the desire. And unfortunately, that is wrong for Manchester United. But we will get there. Yeah. And I believe we will get there. But everything is against us at the moment. And I think we just have to suck it up as fans. We're going to get through this. We always get through things, any situation, what goes on here at Manchester United. But this is going on too long, and putting the club up for sale and everything else puts everything into doubt, puts the manager into doubt going forward. Will he be here next year? We just don't know.
As fans, I'd like to think a large majority of us still want Ten Hag as the manager, no matter what goes on in the background and at the top at Manchester United. Yeah. Because I can't see anywhere else we could turn to as a football club. We've tried every other manager under the sun. When you think back to David Moyes, who replaced Sir Alex Ferguson, and onwards up until Ten Hag. Yeah. And I can't see anyone else out there who would probably fix what the problems are here at Manchester United. I think the real problems are behind the scenes, and that's in terms of the strategy and the infrastructure behind there, in people in certain positions. And there's been a lot made about directors of football coming in, like Mitchell, etc. And I do believe we need people in there like that who have got a good football brain, who can work with the manager in terms of recruitment and getting quality players in. And they might be much younger players. They might be players who none of us have ever heard of, but getting them in for small transfer fees, doing good business as well. Yeah,
but until everything changes in the background, then we will see exactly what's been going on. Yeah. Nothing will change will change on the pitch.
Do you think that's a real threat that new owners come in, let's just say all of a sudden Ratcliffe does get a majority ownership at Manchester United, that his job would come under threat at Ten Hag?
Oh, without a doubt. You look around football, that's what happens. Every manager, what's in situ, will be under threat. It has been, and many, many managers have been moved on, which you wouldn't have thought, because there is a new direction. It is the way business works. Now, we've digressed from the game. I get what we're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Conversation on air goes anywhere.
Yeah, it goes anywhere we want, you know what I mean? But no, I want to get back to the game, to be honest with you, because I look at the game and I think to myself, and when I talk about mentality of the game, creating its own problems, I just look at it. Well, what do you do if you're 1-0 up with 30 minutes to go? What do we do? That in itself is a problem. I also look at the start of the game. What's his tactics? What's he expecting? Do we abandon certain aspects of how we want to control the game? And that's why I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game, because no matter what happens, United have to keep attacking. They have to keep attacking and going for it, because if they're 1-0 up, in my opinion, and I've seen it before, you have to keep attacking. So for a game of football, you should all be ready for this game. Should all be up ready, because every moment is an issue and is a problem.
Yeah, I get what you mean about attacking, keep attacking, but in order to attack, you've got to control the game, and specifically in that midfield area. We've seen too often this season where we've just lost that battle for large parts of the game, and I'm just thinking who he has available to come into midfield. Will he choose to start Scott McTominay again? Maybe play Christian Eriksen, who will give us a bit more control in that midfield, in my opinion, Eriksen, and create something going forward. Amrabat as well, he's in there. What did you think of, against Sheffield United? Has he done enough for you to start in there?
I can't really rely on any player tomorrow night to control the game. I don't see how they can control the game. You look at all the games this season, and you mentioned it earlier on, we're having bits of football, and then it's all going pear-shaped and all that, right? And that's what you're going to have to expect. There is no such thing as Manchester United going on that pitch tomorrow night and controlling the game for 90 minutes. It is not going to happen. And the thing is, the reason why it's not going to happen is because of the pressure. Pure out-and-out pressure on to win the game. So at the end of the day, you will see United getting overrun in that midfield tomorrow. The back four getting overrun at certain times. It's going to be the nature of the game, and that sets up a fantastic game. Sets it up for all the fans.
End-to-end football.
End-to-end football, and that's what's going to happen. There is no control. You can't have 90 minutes of control of football, because, like I've said to you, if we go 1-0 up after 10 minutes, now that, to me, that's the worst thing what can happen. Because United will lose control, right, of the midfield and the back four and the attack. Because do they carry on attacking? That's the problem, because they will fall back. It's a natural thing for players to do, to hold on to a lead, falling back. And that's why I'm so excited for tomorrow. And everyone should be excited, because it is going to be attack, attack, attack. And if there's one thing of times gone by when Manchester United are up against it, is the attack, and the crowd get behind them. The lights, the night, European, everything. And the emotion behind. There's nothing
better than being here at Old Trafford.
No.
And that Champions League music comes up, and the whole stadium up at it.
Yeah.
It is a great night.
Yeah, it is and it will be a great night of football. Tactically, might go right out the window early doors. At certain stage of the game, it definitely will. I can put money on it. But what I'm looking at tomorrow, my one issue about tomorrow is Højlund. I look at Højlund and I say to myself, where's all the crosses for him? Where's the through balls, the lack of early balls for him? We need to get, tomorrow night, for United to be on the front foot, we have to get the wingers, if Rashford's a winger or Anthony, they have to get them crosses in early.
But you're saying that, but
no, they have to.
No, but Marcus Rashford and Anthony on the right-hand side, who I think will start tomorrow, aren't them type of players who are going to give you that from the wings. Marcus Rashford, is he someone who's going to start all of a sudden just start providing Højlund with balls, getting assists? I don't think he is. Yeah, he got that assist there at Galatasaray when we played Galatasaray, a fantastic assist, but is he going to do that regular to feed Højlund, to get into positions to score goals or create goals? I don't think he is. Marcus Rashford, more often than not, wants to get his head up from that left-hand side and create something for himself to shoot and give himself an opportunity, not really someone else. Well, and I see that with Anthony as well. Anthony's always wanting to cut inside. Okay. Yeah, he might want to cross into the box, but his crosses at the moment for me are absolutely bobbins, and even his shots, the same. You know, at recent games when you've seen him play last year, he does need to improve a lot on them shooting opportunities, I think.
Yeah, you're only pointing out what I'm actually saying, to be honest with you.
Well, I said it for you, so it's no problem then.
Well, I'm going to repeat. I'm going to repeat what you said, because at the end of the day, right, them two should be putting more crosses in. They should be getting early balls. This is the problem of the game. Just bear with me, right? Højlund is lacking the early ball from the forwards, from the two wingers, I mean, and from the midfield. What I've seen, right, is Højlund's up there wanting the ball. Rashford, Anthony, stop the ball and do the square passes. The midfield are doing the same. Their lack of early balls to Højlund is bad, and it has to change for tomorrow. There is no messing about here for these players. There is too much square ball. Too much slowing the game down. This is what I'm going at. I'm not, you know, it's a one-off game, this, all right? And these have to go for it. I don't care about Rashford, about his style of play, what he wants to do for himself. Get the ball, try and take players on, hold it up. Forget that. That has to go. He has to get the ball. He has to go charging through, right? And if he gets the opportunity, cross it. Do not do a square ball. Do not do a square ball, and the same goes for Anthony. The ball has to go forward with pace.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I just don't think they're that type of player to do the things we're asking him to do. I don't think they're good enough at doing that.
They're going to have to do it.
And I'm looking at it, and, you know, in my head I'm thinking he probably will start Anthony on the right, but I'd probably stick Rashford more often than not at the moment on the right-hand side, because he'll look to probably change his game. It might be easier for him on that right-hand side, right-footed, old school type of winger, to then get crosses in from the right-hand side and then put Garnacho on the left. Because Garnacho, every single time for me, wants to run at the fullback, run at the midfielders, but he wants to get his head up. He'll always want to get his head up to look who's in the box.
See, this is all down to Erik ten Hag and the team he picks. But the thing is, the mentality has to be. It doesn't matter what we've seen previously in football. All I've been seeing is slowing the game down from the wings, looking back to bring the ball back into midfield, the midfield squaring it. Yeah. Look, that mentality has to go. You say players aren't, they're not capable of doing it. Well, they're going to have to do it. Because if they don't do it, we're out of the Champions League. Because if we get beat tomorrow night, we are out. And we will even struggle. And it's very doubtful that we'd even qualify for the Europa League. So the mentality has to change. Doesn't matter what they've done before, how they've tactically played the game, how Erik ten Hag has tactically set the team up, right, to hold the ball, square it, keep the midfield in play. No, there's none of that. Not for me. I've seen in times gone by, we have to go for this, and the players' mentality has to change. And if it doesn't change tomorrow night, then there has to be big changes after this game.
It's a massive game straight after that against Manchester City.
Yeah.
And you know, I do hear people talking about tactics from the manager, etc. And I think they put too much emphasis on that sometimes, where it's like, it's up to the players on the pitch.
Tomorrow night is a game in question, you're right.
All 11 of them who start, they're your generals. They're the ones who should be communicating with each other.
Yeah.
Like we just discussed earlier, a lot of them have got experience.
Yeah.
So they should know in themselves how to manage a certain point in the game if they're under pressure or, you know, they're on their attack, in where to play on the football pitch and where to play the ball, most importantly. You know, let's face it, the ball moves quicker than the man. It's that simple.
Yeah, well, listen, it's that simple. I've got a vision in my head here, right, of telling 11-year-old kids, right, listen, you've got to win the game. Just get out on the pitch and win the game. And what would you see? You'd just see 11 young kids just charging at them. We've got to score goals straight at them. That's the vision I've got. And at times, that's the vision, what's going to happen out on the pitch. Because, hang on a minute, we've got to score a goal. Well, they're not going to defend if their life depends on scoring a goal and winning the game.
Yeah, we do look vulnerable, though, when we do attack, don't we, at the back. I think against Sheffield United, no disrespect to them, but they'll get relegated this season. That's where they're at as a football club.
Yeah.
But United were leaving it man for man at the back when they were attacking, and I just thought to myself, if you're playing a better opposition here, on a counter-attack, they could really, really punish you.
Well,
so
it was
we've got to be careful with that as well on the counter, because as we've seen
early doors
for a lot of games this season, running through our midfield, it's starting to become a bit of a trend from the opposition.
Listen, early doors, they'll have to watch being caught out. But at the end of the day, we haven't got the quality at the moment, right? World-class players. Yes, we've got some people who have been world-class players.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the problem. We haven't got the world-class on that pitch at the moment, especially at the back. And if you talk about Sheffield United, they were poor, very, very poor, and we managed to hold them. Yes, and it did look at times, it was disjointed at the back. And tomorrow night against Copenhagen, it will absolutely be disjointed. But expect it. That's how it's going to be. And listen, them players will not sit at the back for 90 minutes if a goal is needed. You will see them get caught out. You'll see the midfield get overrun. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen at times during that game.
I just think when you're saying like the midfield getting overrun, we can all see it out there in games. But let's face it, he has got his first choice midfield to pick from. Now, Mason Mount's return, you've got Eriksen, McTominay. I know Casemiro's suspended for this one, but he's got Amrabat in there. So, these are his first choice picks that he can actually choose here and put into the midfield.
Some of them are.
Well, some of them are, but they're still good enough to be here at Manchester United and be on the bench and play international football for the respective countries. So at the end of the day, he has got them to choose from. So really, he shouldn't really be getting it wrong, Erik ten Hag, and neither should the players he chooses, because let's face it, they're on the training pitch every single day of the week with each other. So they should be sort of like getting to a style of play, knowing how each other play.
You can start. Listen. I'll say it again. You can start the game off tactically.
Yeah.
But that tactics, I am guaranteeing you right now, are going to go right out the window. So you can do all what you want on the training field. The occasion of the game, of what it is that we have to win, and this side are no mugs, right, makes it a very, very difficult game, right, to win. But we have to win. So the tactics at some time will go out the window. And it's not about getting it. To me, it's not. Anyway, I don't know how you see it out there. It's not about getting his best 11 out there. It's about all working together. And we've not worked together all season.
Do you not
how can I expect that tomorrow night with the prize we have to win?
I disagree with that. I do think the team have worked together.
For 90 minutes.
Yeah, I do think the team have worked together. And you look at, I think one of the games what really stands out for me is Brighton here at home. I think that's one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time from Manchester United in working as a team. I think they were just all over the place, but I think it was the manager and the tactics that day. We played some diamond shape, which I don't think any of these have even played in their life before. So to drill that into players' heads against a team like Brighton, who were proper well drilled by the manager, I think was a big mistake by Ten Hag. But I do see these players working together, and I just think sometimes they're just not sure in what the instructions are from the manager and how to carry them out on the pitch. And they have had players who have been injured, like players like the left-back position. When you full-back positions and you're having to play Lindelof or Amrabat there, that is going to unbalance your side. No left footer there, someone who's going to go up and down that left wing, and have that partnership with your left winger like Rashford. That's going to be a problem for you because Lindelof can't do that, Amrabat can't do that. So certain positions where we have been missing players, I can understand that. But when you've got these players back, you should be performing and there shouldn't be any excuses there. I know you're expecting a bit of carnage, a bit of chaos, but these players here, they're big enough, they're experienced enough. They have got the quality, some of them. Let's face it, some of them have got the quality to get control of that game against Copenhagen and win that game.
Any other game, I would say, of course, they've got the quality to get in it, but it's not about quality tomorrow night. And I'm not slagging each individual player down. I'm not slagging Erik ten Hag down or anything. This isn't about quality. This is about getting a job done, right? And it is going to be so difficult, nervous. The mentality has to be right, and they do not have to worry. At the end of the day, Can you see a 1-0 here tomorrow? I can't. No way in this world can I see a 1-0 here tomorrow. So if they go and score in the first 10 minutes, I'm not worried. I am not worried because we have to score 2 minimum. We have to score 2 minimum because if we score 1, whether it's before half-time, 5 minutes into the first half, 5 minutes into the second half, we're going to see our players defending and them attacking. And that is just going to be absolutely fantastic to see because it is just going to be kids' football. Yeah. Attack, attack, attack.
Yeah, I was actually surprised.
Tactics and all that don't matter tomorrow. It won't after a certain part of the game. That's what I'm saying. They have to set off right. They have to have the right mentality at the beginning of the game and build into it and go for and try and get that goal. And then when they open up, right, because they'll have to come forward, that's when we can just go out on the attack and spring it on them. That's how I see the game. I don't see it any other way. As much as you say it, or anyone out there, I can't see it being anything else. We have to go for the jugular all the time and not worry about the defence and hope that they're capable of stopping him. And Onana, right, has got the confidence back after Sheffield United. And I think to myself, massive game for him, massive game. The involvement he's going to have is going to be unbelievable. So I just hope, right, he's right on it.
Yeah, well, let's hope he is, because like we mentioned earlier on, there's some big fixtures coming up, starting massive. With Copenhagen, City, Newcastle, even away to Fulham in the league as well after that. So, you know, all the players need to be geared up here. But, you know, when these players are coming, I know the back four, our first choice back four, isn't there at the moment.
No.
But for me, I'd like to start seeing a little bit of stability in the starting 11, who's starting, you know, his first choices every time in midfield, up top.
Yeah, listen,
I need to start seeing that because if you're chopping and changing your players week in, week out, where are you actually going to find a rhythm and a style of play from anywhere? Because they're going to be playing with different people week in, week out.
But I 100% understand what you're saying. We want stability. We want to see it, but not tomorrow.
But big calls need to be made as well, because there's some players here, for me, who are not performing and haven't been performing at the levels we expected this season. So for me, if anything was to go wrong tomorrow, which I highly doubt it will, could have egg on my face, but I don't think it will, you know, he needs to start making some big calls there for me and start taking players out and putting some of these younger kids in who are clearly wanting to play for the shirt.
Listen, the question is, if it goes pear-shaped tomorrow, there has to be massive calls right after it. But you will not get stability in a one-off game. It never happens. There's no stability. Doesn't matter if there's one or two players out. You know, this is a different type of game, a different mentality, different approach and everything. There's no such thing as stability here for Manchester United on that pitch tomorrow, okay? We want stability. We want stability in the club, on the pitch, everything. And if it fails tomorrow, Erik ten Hag has to be ruthless. If he is not ruthless, then I fear. I fear for him, right? Because he has to be ruthless. Because getting knocked out, because if we do get beat tomorrow, if that happens, we are out of the Champions League. And that is not what Erik ten Hag's here for, okay? He's there to take Man United forward, progression, and this is a backward step. And I think any new owners, what's coming in, or minority owner, whatever, goes forward. And I think even the Glazers and the suits inside there, they will look at this and go, this is a failure for many, many reasons. Not just one, there's many, many reasons. But as we know, the manager always gets it, okay? Not the players. So if we fail tomorrow, let's have a look at it, digest it, and look to see if any of these players have actually thrown Erik ten Hag under the bus. But Erik ten Hag will change it and will have to change it, or that could be his own downfall. But that's negative, and I don't want to be negative. No, I'm right up for it.
I know you're right up for it. And just before we go, I'm going to ask you your score prediction.
Score prediction, 3-1.
To Manchester United?
Oh, yes, 3-1. I think, I just, you know, I've got this funny feeling, not just for Copenhagen. I've got the funny feeling for Copenhagen, and I've got the funny feeling against City. But a totally different type of game against City. I can't wait for these two games and then Newcastle on the Tuesday. I've just got this funny feeling. I have. It's just mad.
Okay, I'm going to leave that
3-1
with you. I'm going to go 2-1 Manchester United.
2-1?
Yeah, 2-1.
Oh, they'll be holding on. Yeah. Fingernails will keep going.
Yeah.
No, 3-1. I just know that them players on the pitch know what they've got to do. They'll go forward and they won't worry about the defence, because the defence knows exactly what it's got to do, and it's got to stop them.
Yeah, looking forward to Rasmus. I'm sure Rasmus Højlund's looking forward to playing Copenhagen as well.
Early balls.
Yeah, so if we can get some balls into him, some deliveries, hopefully he can get onto the end of him as well. Because he does look an exciting player going forward. And one of the positives in this team for me.
The last European game against Galatasaray, I did turn around and say, Højlund to score 2.
Is he scoring tomorrow?
He's scoring 2 tomorrow.
2 for Højlund tomorrow. Let us know your score predictions, your starting 11, all that good stuff, Reds. And we will be back straight after the game tomorrow. We've got Webby to give his match reaction. And me and my dad, Tony, will probably do a live straight after the game. So get your notifications in for that one. Yeah. And you enjoy the rest of your day. See you again soon. Thank you, Reds. Come on, United.